So for Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. So Web 1 during the 80s or 70s, I think, when the internet was very static, meaning it's a way for you to just input information and then you just consume it. Web 2, so I'm keeping it very in layman's term, right? So internet was static, meaning you just receive information. Whereas in Web 2, what happened was you also contribute information based on how you interact with the platform or anything or on the web page. So, but what happened during Web 2 is most of these platforms are organized or are over spearheaded by centralized entities, the likes of Google, Meta, Facebook, now called Meta, Twitter, etc. And the risk of having a centralized entity controlling what you see is obviously autonomy and to some extent transparency and ownership of your data. Now, Web 3, facilitated by blockchain technology, is there's now a decentralized platform wherein it will be, number one, collectively decided by whoever is the validators, etc. So there's no one central governing authority entity that controls what you see or how your data is being managed. So I think that, and to some extent you can, it one way or another, own whatever data or whatever asset that you have in the internet. So that has been to some extent unlocked when the creators of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, solved the Byzantine theory problem. So I think general Byzantine's problem in blockchain. So that really gave rise in terms of a decentralized, meaning a ledger, decentralized platform that no one will be able to override, etc. So that snowballed into something much more, right? At the dawn of NFTs, and even us, like data aggregators and guilds, GameFi guilds. So yeah.
So yun, siguro I'll add a little more about the information on what's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3. Well, Web 1, just think of it as the early version of the internet. That's the earliest version of the internet. Kung saan yung mga websites pa lang, wala pa masyadong magandang interface. That's the Web 1. And yung tinatawag na internet bubble dati, yung mga kung nabuhay na kayo ng 90s, I think, or early 2000s, yan nagkaroon ng internet bubble. Then, yung Web 2, just think of Web 2 as the social media era where Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, where people are allowed to create contents, to contribute on the platform. But those platforms are centralized, meaning it's a user, it's no no no, it's a company-centered network. So meaning every data, for example, Facebook, you're creating content on Facebook, you're actually creating content for Facebook under your name. So the data is being contributed to the company who owns that application. While on Web3, which is we are here right now on the very early stage, the ownership is given back to the people, just like what Jen said earlier about Bitcoin. Bitcoin allows a peer-to-peer transaction, 'di ba? It eliminates intermediaries to financial institutions to become the middleman on every transactions. And yeah, it's more a decentralized network, meaning it's a user owned network. Our assets is being being proved through NFTs. For example, we have digital assets. It is something that we truly own through the blockchain technology. And we have this called token based economy, where cryptocurrencies are being used as the money on the internet, where we have those transactions with the internet of value is being provided. And yeah, and the so-called metaverse, it is something that most of people right now are looking forward to in building in the Web3 space. So yeah, that's it.